those of us in Canada today have something to celebrate. Just recently, the internet spying bill that was put forth by the Conservative Party has been defeated, and there will now, this legislation, Bill C-30, will now no longer be put through. It was Rob Nicholson who came forth and said that it was going to be cancelled. We will not be proceeding with Bill C-30. We've listened to the concerns of Canadians who have been very clear on this. Indeed, Canadians have been very clear on this. We don't want to be spied on. And these statements did not just come from a left or a lunatic fringe, as our resident Fox News wannabes, Sun Media, wanted everybody to believe. This was coming from everybody. There were a great deal of conservatives as well who didn't want to be spied on. Now, unfortunately, this victory over what is essentially a fascist policy that was put through by the Conservative government, which is a point that will always be ignored by right-wing media and a lot of right-wing people as well, didn't come from, as many liberal media organizations like to say. They say, like, we have finally done it. We wrote enough letters. We had enough petitions. Well, that's partly true. I think what's more important to keep in mind here was not just that there was, there was the letter writing campaigns, there was petitions and all that other liberal stuff that really doesn't, really accomplish anything except for smaller matters. What happened here was a polarizing social outrage. It was right across the spectrum of all kinds of people across Canada that did not want to be spied on by the government. I think that was the real motivating force, or the real force that actually stopped this from going through. And I find it very ironic that the government is standing there saying, well, we have listened to the Canadian people and we've decided that we're not going to do this. No, you didn't listen. The government did not listen. This is not the first time that we've had the Harper government, the Conservative Party, trying to do things like this. We had, Vic Toes coming up with the public spying bill, and there was a huge outrage at that. Remember the Tell Vic Toes Everything campaign? This was not simply a liberal little write an angry letter to your member of parliament or sign this petition. The man was literally outright harassed. I'm not saying that harassing him in this way by continually calling his office or sending him Twitter messages telling him everything you did that day, because I myself did do those things too. These things were very effective, and these were somewhat transcending the liberal idea of what it is that we're supposed to do to create social change. This went a little bit beyond that. These are still primarily liberal things to do because they did not outright challenge the system it is that we live in. But they did take things a little further than they have gone in the past. And the reason I think this is because this was a more polarizing issue, or at least the public opinion was more polarized on it. Canadians don't want to be spied on. And I think that's something the Conservative government did not expect. They weren't expecting the huge outrage that was eventually going to come. I'm sure they anticipated some backlash, but I don't think that they anticipated the scale of what actually came through. But I think it's important to remind ourselves that it was not these, little liberal tactics of writing an angry letter or signing a petition. It was the polarization of resistance to this that went across the entire political spectrum of the country. And that is what really did it. Hey Mouse Rebel News fans, I just wanted to let you know that I've released a new ebook debunking the claims made by Trevor Luden that Barack Obama is a communist. He made a challenge that if anybody could refute his proof that Obama is a communist, that he would stop calling him one and take his own book calling him one off the market. So if you want, head over to the MRN bookstore on lulu.com and check it out.